Good morning, everybody. We are live now. The actual session will start in 10 minutes time from now. This is around 15 minutes from now because it's 10 minutes early, around 8 minutes early. We have launched the session to facilitate people to join in. Thank you. Hi Vikrant, good morning. Welcome to the session. Yeah, Vikrant, you can put some question. Yeah. Now, that's what I was actually going to ask you, that if you have some question or anything to share. Yeah. So you asked Monday onwards, I will be handling Facebook page of National Film Archive of India as part of internship. Oh, that's awesome! That's awesome! Congratulations for that. And you were mentioning about this internship only, right? So that's a great job to look after. Film is an awesome. I consider film as the highest of the arts, which is a combination of all forms of art. So really, this is good involvement that you have got. So I'm sure you'll be justifying that. Do share the link of the page. So that we can also have some ideas and exchanges. So now it's 6 o'clock. We shall wait for another 5 minutes and then we'll do our silence and we'll start the session. Okay, so Vikrant says that I just find this contradictory, that lesser thoughts will help in creativity. If you can elaborate on this. So it's not about the quantity but the quality which matters. When you have lesser thoughts in your mind, you will be able to invest more vitality on each thoughts, and that will actually refine your involvement, right? So the creativity is the result of deep thought, not more number of thoughts. So that we need to understand, that creativity is not connected to the number of thoughts that you have in the mind, but the quality of the thoughts that you have for each thoughts that you have in the mind. So that's very important understanding. Yeah, Vinu, good morning. Good morning. How are you doing? All good? Welcome to the session. So hope I could clear the point that you raised, Vikrant. So it's not about how many thoughts you have in the mind. It's about how deep thought you have in the mind, in terms of the quality. So we'll wait for another 2-3 minutes and we'll start our silence, and by that time people will join for sure. Yeah, SP, good morning. SP has joined. Welcome to the session. Today it will be very relaxed topic, so you need not to think a lot about this topic, but definitely contemplation is a part of the journey, so you need to reflect upon some aspects, but it's not too tough to contemplate. It doesn't take much effort, I must say. Okay, Vikrant asked that, if I'm researching on an idea, I need to validate multiple researches and go as per thoughts coming in mind. It's a dynamic process, absolutely dynamic process, and the dynamic process is less burdening when it is rational. So the researches that we do, if it is creative research, then it has to be rational, and it has to be effortlessly connecting cause and effect. So that's the condition, and this will not eat up the vitality as commonly understood as the number of thoughts versus the vitality, so overall the number of thoughts will be reducing in this lifestyle in terms of the beyond conscious a lot. Yeah, Prasida has joined. Good morning, Prasida. Welcome to the session. Nandini, good morning. Welcome to the session. Continuing to your question, Vikrant, when you sync yourself with nature, as I was sharing the other day, that you will be burden free for all the natural processes in terms of your eat, sleep, getting up, bowel movement. These will be automated, and these all natural processes, because of the drifting from the natural lifestyle, are becoming burden to our mind and the thought process, because we have to spend and invest a lot of thoughts behind these all activities. And the more you sync yourself with nature, these will become effortless. Absolutely. You will sense hunger, you will have right food, you will have bowel movement on its own, so you need not to put any effort. You sense sleep, you sense freshness, you get up. So all these will be automated process. So from those all automated process, you will be finding a burden-free thought process and thought structure in your mind, which will enhance the creativity, because when you don't have any other activities or engagement, you end up doing something good, something great. So that's the power of the creativity and nature sync life. Right, so let's have our silence now, and we'll start the session. Good morning. Welcome to this 17th session of the course. Today is the 8th day, penultimate day, as we understand, as the number of days are 9 for this particular course. But definitely this is just a start of our relationship, and it is a continuum. So, but the structured initiative will come to an end tomorrow. So today is the penultimate day. And the topic, as you see on the screen, nature synced lifestyle educator. So this is a kind of career option that we are proposing to the young generation and the people, those who are interested in this field. So it's a kind of valid human profession to improve the nature and life both. So let's see how this profession looks like. Welcome Vidyut, good morning. So guys, audio video, if you can just all give an attendance on the audio video with yes or no, so that I'll start the session. Just a quick attendance. Right. Vikrant, yes. Nandini, yes. Vidyut, okay. SP, fine. Prasida also, I think Minu is there. So Minu, is it all okay at your end? Yesterday you had some difficulties, because see, the recordings will be there for sure, but the kind of energy that we get in the live interaction, it's unmatchable. So I'm trying to confirm whether you all guys are with me. Yeah, Menu is also having good reception. So Raki has not joined today, so she will join in between, and rest she will watch the recording. Counseling. So this is one of the major attribution of this profession as lifestyle educator, nature synced lifestyle educator, NSLE. That is acronym. We use this acronym for this particular profession, NSLE. Now, counseling is a parts and parcels of this particular profession, because this particular profession is not a short-term goal-oriented profession that you just provide this solution instantly and go off. This is not such. It's a process of education that one needs to take up, and counseling is a part of it. It's an important and the most important part of it. Unless you counsel, an educator is actually a counselor. So one has to learn the skill of putting the information in a right way, because all in all, if you want to contribute in the knowledge domain, when I say, that means you are here to bring some change in the knowledge of the people through your way of proposing the information that you have as knowledge. So your knowledge will contribute to others' knowledge the way you put up the information that you have. And this skill needs a lot of contemplation and lot of patience and lot of counseling skill to put the information in a right manner. So counseling is the major aspect or major attributing skill for this profession. Then let's step back a little. As far as the information is concerned, when we call nature sync lifestyle educator, we cannot ignore the science and philosophy of nature cure. So this ultimate convergence of the idea of diseases should be there in your mind, because the problems people suffer will be identified as some or other names of the diseases by the medical industry or the kind of conventional route. And there are thousands of diseases, starting from the physical ailments to the psychological ailments. We have thousands of names for each and every symptoms. And by now we know that there is just a single disease in nature, which is the toxin accumulation in the body due to the lack of energy to throw out the toxin. This is the complete sentence. So the toxemia, toxin accumulation in the body due to the lack of energy to throw out the toxin. So if you have enough energy inside, you can throw out iron also. There is no problem in throwing out any tough toxin if you have enough energy. So the solution comes from that sentence that you have to conserve energy. You have to conserve vitality. So this convergence of the idea of diseases, as we see in this cone, this particular cone. Yeah, hi Raki, good morning. You are late today, exceptionally. So now the convergence of the idea of disease, you see in this cone, in this bigger triangle, there are two trapeziums and one small triangle. So in the bigger trapezium, you see thousands of diseases. You give names, it will be coming under that. And that is the territory of allopathy, homeopathy, Ayurveda. Then coming to the herbalism. Herbalism actually discards all these other ailments, but exceptionally identifies deficiency. That's the difference between the nature cure and the naturopathy or herbalism. So this deficiency is also not identified by nature cure. So the toxemia is a single disease and the single solution is the conservation of vitality. So here they identify in herbalism innervation, toxemia and deficiency. So moderating that, nature cure identifies the single disease which is called toxemia. That's it. Yes. Preaching after practice. So no preaching before self-practice. Because first of all, your preaching will be far better when you practice it. That's number one. And number two, the self-care is the first responsibility that you have to take up. So on the name of preaching or the services, you should not decay yourself. You should understand the importance of the vitality conservation and you should employ it in your life. Because on the name of the mission, if you spoil yourself, then your mission will be affected at the first place. If you love your mission, you have to love yourself. So the self-care is the first thing. And I'm actually privileged to share that people, those who extend their loves to me, they share their concerns also about if I'm taking care of myself well or not. Because of the few experiences give some notion that I don't take care of myself the way I propose people to take care. But I confirm and I would like to share something that this morning also some of the some person was actually communicating with me and wondering that how I did reply at 1:30 a.m. in the morning. Isn't that health hazard? But I confirm that I don't govern my getting up time. I try to sync myself for sleeping time, going to bed time, which is necessarily before 9 p.m. Earlier is the better. Exceptionally, some emergency situation, I keep awake after 9 p.m. So, if I sleep at 9 p.m., then by 12 midnight, it's around 9 hours of physical, equivalent to the 9 hours of physical rest. That is the deepest sleep one gets. 9 p.m. to 12 midnight is this 3 hours physical hours is equivalent to almost 9 hours of physical rest. So it cannot be considered as a health hazard choice. I confirm. So this is just an example that you have to take care of yourself at the first place. On the name of your mission, that I have to take class in the morning, I have to put an alarm, and all those stuff should be contemplated before executing, because putting an alarm is a stress on yourself. You execute it or not, you will be having that load in your mind that I have put an alarm, and that's very hazardous for your vitality. So just prepone your sleeping hour, going to bed hour, then you'll see the magic. Initially you might be sleeping for 8 hours physical hours, but slowly and gradually it will be reducing and you'll be really fresh enough to get up at any time. And just stick to that if you are fresh, then only you will get up. Don't get up in an unfresh mood. So what I usually do, I get up whenever I get up, but I wait for half an hour on the bed itself. and I check that whether this freshness is a morphed freshness for some reason, or this is a real freshness. So this is very much important, that self-care is the first thing. So practice this lifestyle before preaching. This is the condition. Okay, Nandini asks that mental disease like schizophrenia, form of toxemia. So schizophrenia is a form of toxemia because of the overburden of thoughts. Overburden of thoughts actually reduces the vitality, conserved vitality level, and that causes a huge, tremendous innervation, and that innervation is actually the causal agent for the toxemia. And you find each case of schizophrenia, you analyze them, you'll find lot of cloggings into them, within them, as far as the toxin accumulation is concerned. They will be constipated, they will have difficulty in sweating, urinating, and whatnot. Right? So the shallow breathing is also a problem you'll see in them. So definitely it's a form of toxemia. No argument on that. Like, it's a fact. Any disease can be correlated with the lack of vitality, like lack of conserved vitality, and followed by toxemia. The moment you conserve vitality, the toxins will go up and you will unclog yourself, you will unblock yourself, and all the problems will be reversed. Yes, so we started with the voice of the organism, which is self-care. Then it is the law of unity. So one needs to understand the law of unity very dialectically and execute that. You need to have the qualities of expanding yourself. That's very important. You need to know that how expanding yourself benefits you. That's very important aspect, because it's a self-directed profession. You are up to take up this profession to take care of yourself ultimately. So you have taken care of your physical health. Now, to have a better cognitive growth, you need to expand yourself. Now you are going for that expansion of self by taking this kind of profession. Right. So that's very important. Yes. Question to enlighten. You need to inculcate the habit of questioning. Question, question, and question. It is not just questioning others, but questioning yourself. All of your choices should be questioned by you, whether those are dialectically vetted or not, rationally approved or not. This is very important aspect to take up this valid profession. The understanding of dialectical science is very important. The rational analysis aspect is very important. As you see, there are two supersets, disjoint superset. Those who are from mathematics background, they can understand these terms. Disjoint supersets. So these two ovals are disjoint. They are not connected to each other. And then these ovals are considered, the bigger ovals, the red and the blue, are actually the superset, and which actually keeps a subset inside. So you see, the rational is the superset where the logical is a subset of it. So beyond logical portions are covered in the rational, and here in the irrational superset you see the illogical aspect as a subset of it. Now here we need to understand the meaning and the difference between logical, illogical, and beyond logical. So the layers are like this. The illogical are the lower layer, then logical, then beyond logical. So this is the beyond logical, this is logical, this is illogical. So this aspect need to be understood, that here it is just the blue is this one. This portion is the beyond logical. which is very much rational, and we have a lot of examples also we have discussed during this course. For example, that train experience that I have shared, that I boarded a train without a ticket, which was the previous day's ticket. So that TT helped me going beyond logic but rational. He was very rational in his thinking pattern. So that actually makes us human. Robots are logical. They understand just the logic. Now, that way we need to take up the understanding of the beyond logical also to include it in the rationality. Now, the next aspect is realization of true needs. True needs. So, true needs means we need to understand what we need actually. We need to understand what we need actually. So, there are layers of the needs that we define, and those layers are popularly known as and termed also as needs, wants, and greed. So, definitely the needs cannot be denied of the life, but the moment you opt a dialectical analysis, rational approach of the life, you will be analyzing your needs, your each and every needs that you identify as requirements, and there you will end up being minimalist. It is not an imposed or glamorized minimalism as we see all around, but it is a byproduct of this lifestyle, that you will not be attached to the things which you do not need exactly. You look at your cupboards, you will find the clothes that you have can sustain you and your next generation without buying any clothes, for all of us. So that's because of that falsified need understanding, whether we needed or not, but we went on purchasing. So when you realize this, that there was some flaw in the understanding, then we will reduce the kind of needs of these kinds which you don't need, but you go for that, right? So the true realization of needs is very important for this particular profession, and why the things will be unfolded in just a minute. So the rational need analysis, the need is this center area which is very much needed. Like we need this, like the shelter, the food, the clothes, and also a few of the facilities, like to travel we need something, we need the support of security and all those things. We can actually explore the needs in a certain way that we can identify that these are something we cannot go away with. So those will be differing person to person, but a continuous rational approach will be lowering these needs gradually. And then it comes the wants. Now the wants are actually something which can be worked upon. So you need a vehicle, but you want a better vehicle. The better definition is kind of variable. Now that is what is want. Want can be resketched easily, and the greed is something which you don't need, but irrationally you go for it, is the greed. So for the greed we need to scrap it, and for wants we need to reduce it, and for needs we need to actually satisfy it. So these three things to be understood clearly for this particular profession. Then this money concept comes in. There are a lot of confusions about understanding money. Now money is a fact that has been created by mankind to facilitate something, because the barter was not able to support the sustainability, the exchange process, the barter process. So money was introduced to facilitate these satisfying the needs, wants and greed also. So not identifying money is a kind of irrational approach. So we need to be very aware about this fact that money is a requirement and we need to earn money, but we need to see this as byproduct in the process, because money is a need and it has to be identified, it should not be rejected. But you need to also understand that money is not a natural aspect. This is a human created aspect to offer some facilities. Facilities are not deniable, but facilities are to be taken up very dialectically, whether you really need it or not. So just to share my journey, when we decided actually to, I was after Air Force, actually I had been, I shared the other day, I shared my journey to start this Nature Cure lifestyle, but I did not share the further story little bit. So let me share little bit of it. After Air Force, I joined a corporate, which was a friend's company, and he's the founder of he's still a good friend, and it was really awesome job. And as far as the job is concerned, I did not have any kind of burden of bossy things and anything. I was the boss on myself. I need not to go for the biometric even of the company. So the gates will be opened when I approach to the gate without the biometrics, and all those stuff were privileged. I was privileged to have that kind of job. Then slowly and gradually we realized that there is a push to go beyond and explore something. It was good to support somebody's dream, but it is always good to realize your own deep dream and just come out to or step out to realize your own deep dream. So when we realized that, there was a question of the money that and just Mumtaz bond at that time, so anyway, my family people, basically my mother, thinks me as a crazy guy. So I left a government secured job, I joined corporate. Then they thought that this guy is settled now. And then after 15 years of marriage, we decided to go for a baby suddenly. Then they thought that he is going to settle further. Then I left another job, and without joining any other job. So that's a kind of shock for the family. But I tell you, at the background, there were a lot of discussion, contemplation and analysis within me and Rakhi. So what we did actually to vet this money aspect, that the amount of money we used to earn at that point in time, we started monitoring the expenses. For good amount of 10 to 12 months, we actually tracked our expenses very closely. Then we found that not even 1/10 of the earning is being spent. Not even 1/10 of the earning is being spent. And we think that money is very important. How foolish are we? Money is a byproduct, and if you have some intention to work, the money will be flowing in for sure. So with that calculation, we realized that it is a foolish route. Then we counseled my friend who is the founder of the company. So he asked me that just hold on for a few more months, let me settle down something, then you can leave. And I waited for that. Then I left in the December 2016. 31st December 2016 was my last working hour. So this is very important, that you need to identify money, that expenses are there, but you should be You should be going for the money only for your need, not beyond that. And if we are just running blindly behind money, that's utterly irrational approach of life. So we need to understand this very dialectically. Yeah, Nandini, I identify with your decision of life also. You know, that you left your rewarding career as lawyer and started natural farming. Really appreciable, and really appreciable rationality rather. It's not a sacrifice, I'm sure, as I know you. So it's just a releasement of your cognitive growth. As you mentioned yesterday's, day before yesterday's assignments. Now, yes, the money, since we identify money, we need to sketch something to earn money, right? So, because we need to fulfill our so-called requirements also, the complete needs and some of the wants, not the greeds definitely, because greed is scrapped completely. So here I present a model which is called IV model of compensation. IV model of compensation. IV stands for I value you. IVY. IV is actually name of my beloved friend Vishwaroop Roy Chaudhary's daughter. So she is very cute child, and Vishwaroop actually helped us a lot during the process of pregnancy of us. Yeah. So yeah, so few glimpse about this IV model of compensation. It is not free at the first point, because the free offering, when you opt to offer, you don't know the receiver how it is being perceived. So there is no involvement you can claim from the receiver's end. So not being free is a kind of vetting the seriousness as seeker, because this service is for the seekers. Non-seekers, we should not go behind, right? So it is not free. Even this is not priced. There is a contradiction. If it is not free, then how it is not priced? Because it is reverse priced for some reason. The reason is, you know, the salary word. Salary is derived from salt, and salt is a toxin, an intoxicant also. It makes you addictive. So salary is such kind of aspect. Pricing also. If the pricing you are doing, then always there will be an insatiation within your mind. It could be little more. It could be little higher. So the nature cure professional or the lifestyle educator should understand the gravity of this problem and should free herself from this burden of pricing, because that's an innervating act, that how much to be priced and how this will be coming to the market, whether that will be acceptable in the market in terms of the pricing and all these challenges will be there. You need to do a lot of research to price a product. So you free yourself by not pricing it. And you know that pricing is an intoxicant activity. It will never satiate you. The continuum. So now the service that you are offering is not touch and go. Is not touch and go. If you are offering in a structured manner, this will have an end, but ultimately it's a continuum, and the pricing it will limit the possibility of association. When you allow the individual, the receiver of your service, to price, there will be clear-cut satisfaction from that end, and there will be gratitude in cycle. Mutual gratitude will be going on as a continuum. That's the beauty of this model. Then comes the integrity, because this particular this particular profession is a profession to enhance integrity in your client, to enhance integrity in your client. Because the moment integrity, what is the integrity? Integrity is bringing the alignment with the nature. That is the integrity. Nature is the ultimate truth. So integrity enhancing exercise is this IV model. Because everybody of us do have a construct of compensation. We have a construct of compensation. Definitely, if I'm charged this iPad as 2 lakhs rupees, I'll not be able to afford it, and I'll not be taking it. Afford it is the secondary issue, but I'll not be taking it because I have a kind of understanding that this can be up to 1 lakh rupees. It's fine, but it's 2 lakh is huge. That's the construct that we carry. This is a mere product analysis, but the service analysis also. If your maid is asking a compensation of 50,000, then you get shocked. So you have an idea or the construct of the compensation. So the clients will exercise that idea, that construction, and that exercise is an exercise of integrity. So IV model offers that exercise of integrity for the individual. This is very important aspect of this model. Now, for this particular exercise of integrity and the stress-free analysis evaluation of your service, you need to indemnify something. So I've covered not free, not priced, continuum, integrity. Now this is very important, the indemnification from your end. You need to indemnify, not to give any hint, not to follow up, not to discriminate. So these 3 indemnification are very important. You should never give a hint, because people will ask you that what could be the price of this service through different manner to evaluate in the process of evaluation itself. The moment you give some idea, they'll ask even that what is the average collection of your services. So you should not disclose that at all, because the moment you disclose it, you never know the questioner when he or she will become your client, and he gets a hint, and that will affect the exercise of integrity. So you should only disclose the earning to the IT department, because it's a for-profit company or for-profit initiative that will be doing, and you need to disclose the earning. So, but to the clients, no hint, no follow-up, and no discrimination. So that's very important. And then the byproduct is a default performance assurance from your side as a professional, because you are going to be evaluated after the service. You are going to be evaluated after the service. So in the process, you will never compromise on the quality of your performance. That's a beautiful assurance to add value in the complete this capitalistic approach. This is a kind of capitalistic approach. This is not at all a non-profit initiative I am talking about. This is a profit initiative. And definitely the profit is not limited to the money, but also of the money. So that assurance of the performance is the byproduct for the complete process, for your own integrity and for the value addition to the client. So this particular model is actually is being strategized in a scalable model, and we shortly are bringing some scalability into it further. Now let's go a little deeper into the aspects of execution, how these can be executed as a professional. If you are interested to take this up as a profession, how the economic model, commercial model can work. So the first model is the post-paid model, where you offer your service. When you offer your service, but you don't take any money upfront. You don't take any money upfront and you offer it. and that will act as your marketing entity also. Just remember, because in the marketing in any company, because this is a value addition company definitely, or the initiative. But there is a wrong word also to this model. This is called CAFE model in MBA. In MBA course, you will be understanding a CAFE model where some of your services to be offered for free, and then you start charging money. So just pick up the right things. So the kind of marketing, this CAFE model is a marketing activity. So this postpaid model is nothing but a marketing activity as well, without compromising on the value. That's the most important aspect, because you need to bring some value, valid value in your postpaid service for sure. And postpaid service also explicitly mentioned that it is also not a free. So postpaid comes with a kind of option of paying after the service, after receiving the service. So there is no initial commitment or initial engagement barrier, but it's a postpaid model where people will be, so there you will find very minimal people will be up for paying. It's a common experience, statistical experience that I am sharing, but it is going to improve in coming days for sure, the way mankind is evolving. But the point here is, you should not disregard that money. You should honor that money to respect their integrity, those who are up to pay you. That's a form of identifying the value. So this is very much integrity exercise in itself. Now the next model is the prepaid model. Now prepaid model, again, it's not a decided price that you put, but you can go for a security deposit to vet the seriousness, because in this process, after the postpaid execution, you go for the prepaid. After excelling the postpaid little bit, then only you should go for the prepaid, and prepaid will help you to filter out the people. And you are experiencing that. If this particular course was a postpaid course, then I'm not sure how many people would have been joining in this early morning, early chilly morning. So I'm not disregarding the aspect of commitment that you are showing, but your commitment is not necessarily attached to the security deposit, but in general the security deposit, you can understand that the security deposit will filter the people, those who are really interested. So I am sure if you guys would have joined without security deposit, then also you would have joined this morning class. But how would I know that you are really serious? There should be some modality of vetting this seriousness. So the prepaying security deposit is a kind of that modality to vet your interest, the vet interest of the consumer, the seekers. So the seeking attitude is vetted through the security deposit, and this security deposit again should come with an assurance of refund and revision, both. So there should not be any question asked if the security deposit is asked for refund. That's the company ethic, or that's the initiative ethics or principle that you have to follow dialectically, because this will actually conform to the initiative of IV model, which is giving the power to the clients to evaluate. So the evaluation goes after the service in this case also. So postpaid and prepaid, in both the cases, the evaluation goes to the receiver. The buyer evaluate and price it. That's the same model. So this is a screened model, the filtered model for the serious participation, and that's an open model for serious and non-serious, and that's also a marketing activity. Right? Now coming to the third model. The third model is the discounted model, where you have to substantially invest on something to offer a service, then you can sketch a price keeping your value intact, but you should attach some discounting model to offer the same service with subsidy to the people, those who cannot afford but are seekers. So you need to sketch some entry barrier and evaluating questionnaire to offer this discounted model. So suppose you are, which likely be our level 3 course, maybe a discounted model course, which will be a priced mode, but definitely it will be coming with the discounting. Because we are investing a lot on the research of this particular level 3, and the kind of structure that we are making for the level 3 is really like requires a lot of investment in the real estate also, because we'll have mandatory in-person camps, both the ends, and in between thoroughly online support and all those stuffs will be there. So that will be a discounted model. So that's an example, but you can definitely use your creativity and form a discounted model yourself. Right. I get some question from Nandini. Despite security deposits, some participants have not joined us, sir. Yes, yeah, that's an example, but definitely they had a kind of commitment and they are in touch with us for their urgent problems. Like for example, Shiva sent the security deposit and joined it. Then some kind of development happened in his office and he communicated to me that he is not able to join, and what to do. So I told that it's up to you. You can ask for refund, there is no issue at all, no question asked, or otherwise you are welcome to take the classes. So he opted that no, I'll continue the classes, I'll be part of the group, I'll access the recordings as and when I find time. So I allowed him because he is a regular student and very like a very serious learner, and he came for the last camp also, he did the previous level 2 also. So those are the exceptional cases. Dr. Kaur is also similar case. Mr. Murthy is suffering from some problem. So other everybody is regular a bit. Few dropouts are there in terms of the assignment submission. That's also kind of emergency condition, though everybody is communicating to us, showing the seriousness. So the point here is the seriousness, you know. And now again on this point, Nandini, I must touch upon this also, that there were a few proposals that the repeaters should be allowed and all those stuff, like without security deposit, since they have already proven that they are serious enough. Now in this case the flexibility is definitely on the company or the initiative, but I tell you that we decided not to allow this, because every course is having something unique to offer. So a repeater will not be really a repeater when they understand that the kind of experience they are getting for this particular course, I am saying, right? So that's why we did not allow this thing strategically. But personally, I understand that these people, those who requested for that excuse of security deposit, do not have any money issue and do not have any seriousness issue either. So it doesn't matter whether they pay or not, right? So I think you can confirm on that, Nandini, that you have experienced the previous level 2 also and this level 2 also, and you see the difference in the services, right? You can confirm on that, maybe personally or in the group, right? Yeah, meeting of mind is important, absolutely. Yeah, now let's understand the type of nature synced lifestyle educators could be. There could be 3 types of educators, you know. That's what we are planning for the level 3, the the kind of verticals that we are thinking, though the diagnostician vertical is not sketched yet because we are not competent. So let's see how the things go on. But all in all, there could be three types of educators. One is a philosopher who will keep, for the male version, who will keep longer hair and beard. So just kidding. So the philosopher will be up for offering education, the philosophical change, for the ideally for the mass of people. So this is the floodgate that is being opened by the philosopher vertical. Then the hygienist vertical necessarily will be working in a small group or with individual to offer the specific modifications in their lifestyle, which you did day before yesterday's assignments. You know, you picked up an individual, you evaluate the lifestyle, and you give the kind of recommendations. Those are general lifestyle evaluation and general but specific recommendation. Now, diagnostician yes, so Nandini confirmed that yes, definitely it is somewhat structured differently and content is added. So she is saying about this current batch of level 2 comparing to the previous one. Now, yeah, diagnostician are specialized people, skilled people, those who deeply diagnose the aspects of holistic aspects, structure and functional aspects of the parts of the body and recommend specified enhancement of the conservation of vitality in specified areas. All in all, it is conservation of vitality only, but diagnosticians are specialized skilled people to observe and identify the problem in the spine externally. Observe and identify the problem in your iris, because these are having connection throughout the body, and by iris diagnosis this can be commented that this area needs more serious focus for improvement of the lifestyle. So that's very important aspect of diagnostician. But the problem with the diagnostician vertical is the lateral entry. The people without the education, they will come for the relief. So the ideal lifestyle educator who is a diagnostician should start with the education only. No lateral entry should be encouraged, because lateral entries are short term. They will just come and get rid of the sugar level and they go off. They will get rid of the thyroid level and the BP level and they will go off. So that lateral entry should be discouraged in the whole process. So hope you understood the verticals that are being proposed. Yes, in this particular profession, there is no competition at all. There will be differences. There will be differences amongst the educators in understanding, in the state of awareness, but in this particular profession, structurally, fundamentally, the professional is up to bring change at the first place, to sync with nature. Now, there could be dialectical discussion amongst the educators to come to a conclusion, or may not be coming to the conclusion, but all in all, there is no competition at all in this dialectic profession. That's very important, you know, because the competition word is again connected to the money aspect. So the money is not the main objective of this profession. When you are very sure about it on fundamental issues, then you can go for a debate, dialectical debate, to come to a conclusion. If it is not happening, then you can give a retry. You can repeat the discussion and have that kind of dialectical conclusion later on. So, but necessarily there will not be any competition of the numbers. Yes to collaboration, because there are if you see this as a problem that we are going away from the nature, then the opportunity is huge. Opportunity is huge to contribute, you know, and if many people, maybe halfly skilled, or at a state of awareness which is not full understanding of the dialectic science and all those stuff, but the initiative, the start of the initiative itself is a great thing. So there is always a scope of collaborating and bringing value on the table for either of the clients. So there is no point of competition and yes to collaboration in this profession. So that ends this presentation of this particular profession, as a career option. So we are working on that, and I welcome you guys to associate with us to make a valid impact on this domain, you know. And so today will be not that longer session as usual, the morning session. This will be a relaxed day, and you can go through the by now it's 7:03, so 7 o'clock is the scheduled time for the contents to appear in the Facebook group. It is already appeared. 7:30 the assignments will appear. Assignments are also related to this, obviously. So you'll find its valuable and usable assignment for you to contemplate, you know. So yeah, going forward, I just present a case study which was published also last year in Asian Journal. Tulika, are you there? Has Tulika joined in between? I have not seen Tulika's message, but yeah, Tulika is a teacher, and yeah, Rakhi is also a teacher. So for the teachers, this is very useful, you know, to bring change in the learning processes. So this was published in last year Asian Journal of Distance Education. So my both the courses were covered, the level 1 and level 2 in this particular case study. So I have shared that that particular case study in the Facebook group also, and Google Drive link also I'll be sharing. So this case study will have a typical flow of the case study, that it starts with the background, and it gives the pedagogy, idea of the pedagogy, idea of the philosophy, the execution, the technology, the economy, the feedbacks. So this is a formatted case study. So the background is definitely the change that I realized in my life and my family's life. Then we realized that this is absolutely science. During our research, we realized that this is not a kind of supernatural impact on human being, on mankind, or on the organism. This is absolutely physics. So when we are able to relate with all the aspects rationally, dialectically and scientifically, and alongside we could not come to any kind of such courses which were offering this dialectical formatted, structured learning, structured information rather. So that's the background which actually gave me the push to go ahead create these courses, because these kind of courses in this technological area, because frankly speaking, the Nature Cure has got an impression that it's a kind of ancient science. It's a kind of ancient unscientific science, and it has to be taken up by the old people. At the end of the age, end of the life, it can be taken up. It's a kind of salvation. It's compared to the salvation. So which was kind of uncomfortable realization that led me to create these courses. So this could be very up-to-date course. This could be a scientific, hardcore scientific course, and it could be attractive for the young generation also. So my primary goal to hit that young generation space, and for that reason only this IIT Delhi conference I'm going to speak about in front of the principals, that this is a valid education that we need to impart to the next generation. So that's the background of creating this course. Now the pedagogy, since I was in learning industry in the corporate, and I had been working with a lot of primary institutes like IIT Delhi itself. I had been working, and also IIMs, also a couple of IIMs also we have worked. My team had worked. I was the director solutions in that company. So we gave the solution of this pedagogy to multiple institutes. IIT Kharagpur also launched online courses under our support. IIT Dhanbad, there are a lot of IIT Mandi, so there are a lot of n number. Even the Swayam platform, you know, the MHRD initiative, Swayam platform is the backbone of the Swayam platform is the company that I had been working along with Microsoft. We both together developed that backbone. Now my team actually conducted trainings for all the professors of the country who were involved in Swayam. So we conducted courses for the professors in IGNOU, in JNU, and all those, and in the MHRD building also. So that's how I developed a kind of understanding of the pedagogy at the deep. So and I started working on developing my own pedagogy, and I realized that this particular technology based education is here to stay long. But the technology based asynchronous study, asynchronous education, where the absence of teacher is there, will not hold water in terms of getting the knowledge, which is the primary objective of any education initiative. So when I say this, that means the recorded video lectures, you float it, and you expect that people will attain those lectures and get the knowledge. It's a myth. It cannot happen. So the pedagogy that I have developed is a combination of asynchronous and synchronous. So there should be conscious guidance of the educator in a structured mode to help the learners to consume the study materials. So there should be a kind of feeling that yes, somebody is there. Then the learning happens effectively. That's the psychology of a learner. Otherwise, the learner has to be very self-motivated learner, which is commonly is not possible. So this is what is the main pedagogy I worked upon to bring some change in learning, that asynchronous learning with constant synchronous support, which will reduce the vitality consumption for me, because I have a support of the recorded things under my supervision, and I keep on changing that. If you just can go back and correlate the bariatric lecture that you have seen, those who have seen in the Facebook group, those are actually a modified version of the old lecture that had been given last year, and I have shared that old lecture also in the YouTube link. So if you compare those two things, the voice is same. So you need to deal with the technology, and you need to skillful to use the technology. The voice clips are same, but the slides are differently presented if you compare those two things. So here, by using the technology, the educator can actually conserve a lot of vitality and bring smartness in the execution of the learning. Right? So that's what is the pedagogy of combination of synchronous with the asynchronous thing, that will conserve a lot of vitality and give an impact on the assimilation of the knowledge. Okay, Nandini says that I want to join you in getting youngsters to get to grow their own food in difficult world, in this difficult world. I'm not sure if the word is difficult or not, but definitely this is going to happen, and we are associating for sure. Prasida says that, as he mentioned, he can't force them. If they are interested, you can support that interest. Yes, 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 yes. Right, so this particular case study covered the level 1. Level 1 I floated in 2017. That has got 3 steps, and all of you have undertaken this particular course: unlearning, relearning, and doing or implementation. So 9 batches actually I ran in 2017 continuously in a combination of synchronous and asynchronous. There was constant monitoring in the knowledge business. So then we stopped offering this combination of synchronous and asynchronous as far as the online level 1 long course is concerned, which were actually 9 days course, same starting on a Saturday and ending on the next Sunday. So this was the pattern which you are also following in this particular batch. So then the next year, which is 2018, I launched the level 2, which is titled as Diving Deeper, which is an advanced level course as you are experiencing, which is deepening the understanding of nature cure. And the learning components that I have used in both the courses are these. For the discussion, we used to use the WhatsApp, as you are able to correlate, and the study materials were being shared through. Give me a moment to attach the charger to my iPhone. Yeah, thank you. So study materials and assignments used to be through Google Drive, but this batch is experiencing something different because of the ongoing research on this, and Facebook has launched that unit version of the learning components. So those are very useful, and that scheduled post is very awesome. I'm using that, and but the previous batches were having this Google Drive, and recorded lectures were through the YouTube. As you saw that, watch that bariatric and the other one, habit management. Now live sessions were conducted in using the Facebook Live. Now the philosophy behind, we have discussed about the philosophy. I will not waste much time on this slide. Then the execution also is kind of definitely it's a hard work or rather smart work in the process, and the execution was seamless kind of. The technology, these are the 4 technology, online technology that have been used. I repeat, WhatsApp, Facebook Live, YouTube, and Google Drive. The discussion was this, and these are the examples of the discussion. This is level 1, this is level 2 discussion that used to be there, and this particular group, we do not have that kind of exhaustive discussion because of the live session. This live session of the morning live session is a new edition. Because of that, we are covering a lot of questions and all those things. That's why the discussion is less in this particular WhatsApp group of the current batch, but in the previous batch it was a great discussion all through the day. So these are the screenshots of the, and the study materials were like this, the folder wise, unlearning, which you know already, you have the access, and the access to the level 2 Google Drive, which has been replaced by the Facebook now. Now the recorded lectures were using the YouTube. So YouTube actually allows you to create a playlist, and this is a playlist of level 1 which is there already, and I think you have the link also, and level 2 was this, and now this level 2, this particular batch also, the playlist is being created, and when we dissolve the Facebook group, where after that you will not be able to access the recorded lectures, but we will be sharing that playlist for you to support with the recorded lecture that will be available publicly. Now this particular this is a screenshot of that playlist. Now Facebook Live is a kind of thing that is really amazingly effortless, and you are experiencing that, right? How the education can be better than this? When you at your comfort of your home, you are connecting with the teacher, and the education is happening, the knowledge transmission is happening, information transmission is happening. So I used basically the screen sharing option, as I already communicated in the previous batch. The screen sharing can be used using the desktop only, desktop or laptop. So the screen sharing option, as you see, this kind of pop-up will be there when you launch the live session using your Facebook browser, in particular the Chrome browser. Google Chrome only supports the this thing. Facebook actually has launched in October 2017 this particular feature, and which is largely unknown by the people. They have not marketed that. I don't know the technical reason for that, but these are not much used. Then when you launch the screen share, then you will have option of showing your entire screen or the application window. So we choose to share the application window of PowerPoint slideshow, right? So also the Chrome tabs can be shared if you have to share some particular tab of Chrome browser. So that's what is. And okay, now how we went live with the presentation is this. This is a kind of presentation where you see the stop sharing option. Also, after you go live, you can stop sharing or come back to this, but definitely you cannot switch on your camera to project your face or video, right? So that's a limitation of this screen sharing model, but definitely it gives an impression, clear-cut, crisp impression of the text. Now this is when you go live, then you have this end live video option. Just to click and just end the video, and then you have you have this tweaking of the technology to use your video and presentation both, which you guys have experienced. So both the cameras of the mobile phone can be used one after another to project your face and the presentation on the screen. So this is something like this, you know. If you see the on the tripod, you fix your camera facing towards your laptop or iPad or LED screen, whatever you can keep, and you face towards camera, and you switch on to the front camera and back camera according to the requirement. This facility is again another good facility which you can execute for your teaching. Now this is the same, you see the same curtain, same office through which we did the level 2. This is an old photograph. And the facility of this particular model is the device agnostic. This particular education model, in fact, SciSolution is also planning for academic subjects also. Because Montaj's mother is also a maths teacher, and she is having interest in the physics also a lot, and I too love maths and physics a lot. So we had been teaching earlier as well. So we were thinking to offer some academic support for the basically homeschoolers, including the conventional schoolers also. So that's in the pipeline. That's we are working on now. This is absolutely device agnostic model. If you go for Facebook Coaching Center, that's absolutely device agnostic. You see the mobile is compatible, the laptop is compatible, the iPad or any tablet is compatible. Then what you need? and these youngsters are always gadget attached. So make them use the gadget for the right reason. So this is another experimentation that we are going to start soon. And yeah, we have talked about the IV model of compensation. That was the same for both the models. Postpaid model was for the level 1 and prepaid model was for the level 2. Now comes the feedback. I'll just show you the feedbacks little fast. So the feedbacks will come in the pie charts with different questions. So pie charts will have portions of wow, good, so-so and bad. These 4 options. So now I'll flip through the charts because there is no point of discussing each and every feedback. So the day-wise feedback was there, which was like this. You see the blue and red only, no yellow, no green. So no bad, no so-so, but maximum wow. And then the learning, that's day 2, day 3, day 4, day 4 and 5, day 6, day 7, day 8, day 9. So 9 days course. And then the kind of components, component wise, the guided lecture thing and notes, and then the reference notes, and then assignments and the live sessions. So all the 4 components. And then the commercial model, actually I would prefer to skip this because this might influence your decision, and which I do not want to do right now. So that's one thing I'll skip for now. Let me see if something else is there. Day wise is done. Yeah, I think we are done with the case study. Right, guys? So that was today's topic, and in another 5 minutes you will be getting the assignments. Please do the justice to the assignments as usual you are doing, and we'll reconnect at 6 p.m. this evening with the assignments of yesterday. Right? So if you guys have any question, you can put that, and by that time we'll complete the silence. Yeah, Vidyut asked that meditation and food relation. See, the meditation is for reducing the vitality consumption. Now, any of the acts, if you do, that should be in sync with the objective. The objective of the meditation is the vitality conservation through the thought reduction. Now, if one side you are consuming a lot of vitality and other side you are making an effort to reduce the consumption, these two are contradictory, right? So food is very much important physical choice and physiological contribution, because food choice is a physical choice, but the digestion assimilation process is a physiological action, and which has got a tremendous impact on the vitality. If you have spicy food or kind of complicated food, for that matter, if you have a lot of nuts and you do and meditate, you will not be able to sustain meditation, because that will eat up your vitality and that will not allow you to concentrate on some process of meditation to come to a calmness, right? Hope that's clear now. So since there is no other question, I look forward to the questions in the WhatsApp group and or on the Facebook throughout the day. I'm there, and we are rejoining at 6 p.m. this evening. Thank you.